Today we're going to take a closer look at the process of woodblock printing. This process was first developed in China in the 7th century, many hundreds of years before the printing press. Japan began to use this technology in the 8th century, but this form of printing did not become popular until the 1500s. These printings were mostly used to produce written books in just one color of black or white. There would be a rare illustration, but it was not widely used for art. This changed during the Edo period of 1630 to 1868. During this period, they developed a technique for printing the same sheet of paper on multiple wood blocks. This introduced woodblock printing to the world of color. This would change Japanese art and help create the iconic look found in Japanese art today. Here is an example from the Edo Tokyo Museum of a colored woodblock printing. You can see that the print, starting with just the outline, has a series of additional layers to create the colors of each block to create a final print. The art of woodblocking typically needs 3 different artists to create each image. One artist was needed to create the original image. If that artist wanted to then have a print made of their art, they would take it to a production house. The production house would have a wood carver, who would chisel the drawings into the wood blocks. During this process, the original drawing is destroyed, since it would be glued to the block as shown here. Once the wood carver had carved all the layers for the different colors, the blocks would be taken to the printer. The printer is the one that would press the images into the paper. They also would have the final say in the colors that would be used for the image. So each image would have at least 3 artists working to create the final piece. Each craftsman would stamp the art with their own unique signature stamp. As you can see in this example of a finished print, the original artist has signed the work here next to the title of the piece. The publishing house that carved the wood has their own stamp in red, along with the printing house stamp also in red. Today we are going to take a look at the artist Katsushika Hokusai. He was a unique master craftsman in that he was trained to create the woodblock prints from start to finish on his own. You will notice that some of his works have only his signature stamp on the final images. That is because he carved the original blocks himself and performed the initial printing. In 1831, Hokusai published a series of woodblock prints called 36 Views of Mount Fuji, because they all featured the famous Japanese mountain in one way or another. The series was so successful that he ended up making 46 prints for the series instead of just 36. The most famous print from the series is titled The Great Wave off Kanagawa. In this print, Mount Fuji is relegated to a small triangle in the background of a composition dominated by a towering wave, setting up a strong contrast between the two forces. It also portrays fishermen in their boats caught in the storm at sea. Mount Fuji is the largest mountain in Japan and serves as a sort of symbol for the country that honors nature. In this print, can you see how the layers might work to create the colors in the final image? The black outlines would be the first block to be pressed. Then maybe the artist would have pressed the dark blue color of the waves, then the light blue. Notice another color in the gray background of the sky, and another layer with the white tops of the waves, and a yellow layer for the boats. This image has become the most recognizable work of art from Japan. This is the first artwork to come out of Japan and be widely reproduced. The original printing blocks for this piece created between 5,000 and 8,000 prints before they were too worn out to continue use. They have since reproduced the wood blocks many times over the years, and you can still get an original print from these blocks today. This image of the Great Wave influenced many artists across Europe and is considered to have brought the art of Japan to the global stage.